All right, everybody. Welcome to the Hobby CNC with Dave show. Let me bring in my guest tonight. First, let me get, I don't think he's there. Looks like I've got a blank screen there. I'll come back to him. We got Sean here with us tonight. How you doing, Sean?
Doing great.
Got Mr. Bob Woods.
And you, Dave?
How you doing, Bob?
Doing good.
And Mr. Rob Schuster.
Hi guys, I made it finally.
Yeah, that was I was struggling because when I do stuff out here in the shop, I don't have email and stuff set up out here on this thing, so I was struggling trying to do this on my phone to get that.
Oh no!
And you know how those links are; they're not anything that's real easy to type. So, but I'm glad you made it. We'll have to figure out what's going on. I even checked. I did find that one from the week before. I don't know if you ever found that one, but I thought maybe I didn't send it to you. And then the other day I saw it, and I'm like, wait a minute, I saw that one too. That's why when you said you didn't get this one, I'm like, well, they must be going to spam or junk mail or something. But
I dug through junk and alternates. I couldn't find it.
Okay. Well, anyway, I'm glad you're here, and Ryan will be popping in here in a little bit. I think he gave me the heads up that he might be just a little bit late, and we have Paul's going to join us again. Also, he should be popping in here any minute. But we just lost somebody. Sean lost him, I guess. Anyway, I got a couple of things I want to talk about before we get started, and this is just a good old-fashioned question and answer thing. If anybody's got any questions, just put them in the chat, and we will go over them. We're going to have a bunch of experience here on the panel, so there should be pretty much anything we can answer. So, but first of all, I wanted to tell y'all, because we're like just a few minutes after 9 o'clock, and this is really a special night for me because on this day, April 16th, 2021, exactly a year ago, at about this time, about 9 o'clock, old Dave was rolling in from his second ever ambulance ride to Piedmont Atlanta Hospital. And
let's not do a repeat.
Yeah, I am. I'm going to tell you, I am much happier sitting on this stool at 9 o'clock, April 16th, 2022, than I was laying in ICU, not knowing whether I was going to see April 17th. So it is, I've been thinking about that all day long, because about when 3 o'clock hit, I thought, well, it's 3:06. That's what time I called 911 last year. So I've been thinking about that stuff all day long. But anyway, so happy to be here, sitting on a stool and in a little better shape. I'm starting to put on a lot of that weight that I lost, which I'm trying to fight that and keep it off. But anyway, it's good to be here. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we will be happy to take any questions y'all might have. And while you're putting your questions in the chat, we would also, I want to tell you, we're going to do the giveaway tonight like we always do. Cody is just fantastic, man. He's all up for giving one of these things away every single week. So tonight, I'm going to go ahead and give you the heads up. We'll do the drawing a little later. But, and of course, let me post this on here, because this is who's sponsoring the drawing for tonight. But the one we're going to be giving away tonight is, let me get it up here, the Jenny bit. Look at that beautiful thing.
Nice.
That's the compression bit. It's a 1/4 inch, and that's the one we'll be giving away tonight. So in order to win that one or have a chance to win that one, you need to put in hashtag Jenny. So I'm giving you the heads up. You can go ahead and put it in now or put it in later when we get ready to do the drawing. Doesn't really make any difference because the giveaway program we use is we'll find it and you'll be in. But I'm just going ahead and telling you now so you can go ahead and get it in there and not forget. Hashtag Jenny, easy to remember. All right. Let me take a look at the comments over here. We've got a good little crowd over there. Yeah, I see they're working on it. They're getting it in there now. I don't blame them. Get it in now. That way you won't forget. Also, something else I wanted to mention while we're still waiting on some questions. I don't think you can see it. Let me turn on this other camera. I got a box back here behind me sitting on this other machine, and I'm going to show y'all what's in that in a little bit. But next week, I'm going to give away the stuff that's in that box.
Woohoo.
And, there it says Canadians. I think he ships everywhere. If you're asking about the Jenny bit, I think he ships those pretty much anywhere. He hadn't told me any different. What is this? Is Ryan here? All right, let me bring in Paul. We got Paul out there too.
Hey, Paul.
Hey there.
That's got to be Ryan putting that comment in because it wasn't me. Did you plant and give it fertilizer to talk to it? I don't know what that's about.
Isn't that what you were doing last year when you had the heart attack?
I was trying to put some tomato plants in the ground.
I bet that's what he's talking about.
Yeah. But I hadn't tried putting it in the ground this year. I'll just buy tomatoes this year. No. Anyway. Okay. Jerry has a question. Is you brought me the CNC kit 5 years ago. How long does it take to turn into a full CNC? Okay, that's a good question. It really, I'm trying to figure out how these, okay, there we go. It really depends. Well, for one thing that's nice about the Gatton CNC kit is you don't have to build it all at once. So, a lot of people will buy the parts they get from me, and then they'll save up some money. Maybe next month they'll buy something else, and the next month they'll buy something else. Whereas a lot of other kits, you got to pay for everything up front. So depending on the budget, that could determine how long it takes you to do it. And the other thing is if you got all the stuff, it shouldn't take that long. I can tell you how quick I could build one, but that's not really a fair thing because I built a few of them and know how I don't even have to look at the plan since I drew everything up. I know where it all goes. But for somebody else, it just depends, I guess, on, are they working and just working on it after they get off from work or something like that. Rob, you don't have a Gatton CNC, but you got one pretty similar. What would you say as far as time to get, assuming you got all the parts ordered and they're in your shop ready to go?
I would think 2 weekends, maybe 3, if I was working hard on the weekends. I have a day job, so I think on weekends is how I budget my stuff. But yeah, 4 or 5 days, 8-hour days, I think you should be able to get it done.
Okay. And again, that's kind of depends also too on how, because some people will just build the basic machine, fire it up and then worry about all the little bells and whistles later. Other people like to go ahead and do all that while they're doing it. And of course, that's going to take a little longer.
I'm not the best example because I rushed through mine building it to get it because I wanted it so fast. And then I had to redo a bunch of stuff later to fix it to make it right. So I'm not the good example.
Okay.
Some customers will take their time though and put some paint and color scheme and, you know, polyurethane or whatever too. So, I mean, that takes time as well, you know, so.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that because I'm not, I did put some stain on some of mine. There's still places you can't really see it from here, but I know where they're at. And if you look, it's just raw wood. I didn't even put any stain on it. But I have seen, you know, when people send me pictures of their build and I'm like, holy cow, it looks like a piece of furniture. Yeah. You know, you're not even going to want to run that thing. Some of them, they make them really nice. But all right, let's see here. Let me get back over here. I need my Ryan because he's I don't know whether he's here or not. He may be here back in the shadows but I'm not seeing his camera back there. Jerry says, I may or may not have misplaced the box in all this moving. I still have faith I will find it. Well, worst case, if you hunt all over and can't find it, Jerry, let me know and I'll send you another one. Mark says, depending on how fast you work, figure on anywhere from 20 to 40 hours of work to build. Okay. See, now Mark's one of those guys that's really meticulous. I think I could probably throw one together a lot quicker than that, but that's just me. Okay, so this is he puts the RB, so that's Ryan. And when he posts through StreamYard, it looks like it's me, but he says he's here, his camera mic not working. Okay, gotcha. Okay, well, I thought when that comment popped up, I'm like, I didn't click on that. So you gotta be here somewhere. So okay, let's see if we got Jerry says he stained his orange months after. Okay. Jerry, do you remember? Let's see if he says a solid week or so with parts. Okay. I just wouldn't think it'd be taking that long, but yeah. He says, yeah, but you designed my machine to get. And I said, yeah. Yeah, I know. I've built a few of them. And with the exception of this one behind me, well, in the Revolution that Bob sent me, every one I build, I've designed myself. So it is a little easier, I think, when you design it to throw it together. Because, like I said, you don't even waste time looking at the drawings. You just go. It's all up here.
I also spent some time on the base getting that ready and electronics and stuff that don't really count for the kit, but it's part of the total build still.
Yeah. Let's see here. Earl says between paint and staining could be longer. Okay. All right. The main thing you remember, though, when building any machine, not just one of mine, it's not a race. You know, take your time, build it right, because it's easier to do it right the first time and get everything, you know, square, flat, all that kind of stuff. You know, if you remember when you look, I can't remember what video it is, probably like part 5 or 6, when I was starting to build the bench top table. You know, when I build stuff out of 2x4s, I always take them to the table saw and cut the rounded parts off and get a good square or rectangle, you know, 1.5 by 3. And then that way, when I use the yeah, I'm drawing a blank, pocket holes to put everything together. It really, when you tighten it up, it really helps square everything together. So, you know, the important thing is just take your time and, you know, don't move to the next step until you get all done with that first step. And that's why I tell people, you know, sometimes people will be asking me a lot of questions about the stepper motors and the electronics and stuff. And I'm like, you know, that's the last thing you put on, right? It's, you know, when I used to build them, I wouldn't even order my electronics until I had all the other stuff. But anyway, all righty, let's see. Here he says it's not a race, is what my buddy always says about boat ramps on Memorial Day. Okay. Let's see here. I don't know if I'm missing anything here or not because I'm just kind of jumping around. All right. Well, I don't see any questions. I guess we're done. Who's got something they want to talk about? We'll talk about something else until some questions come in. Bob, you got anything going on that you can share? I know sometimes you got to keep the sheet over stuff, but you got anything you can?
Yeah, I wish I could. I mean, I can look at it here in the shop, but yeah. So yeah, we have you know, for the longest time it was just me doing the design work, but I got John and Jonathan now, and so I've turned them loose on one project, and I'm starting on another one. So hopefully this fall. For us, it really comes down to, you know, if you guys know the Bob CNC, we really made everything out of Baltic birch, and Baltic birch is getting harder to get because of what's going on in the world. So we're trying to figure out what we need to do about that. Other than, you know, so we bought as much as we can buy, but it's just not coming over. So you can get it from Finland still, but they only get a small percentage. You know, there's more Baltic states than just Russia. But
yeah. Now, has the price gone way up on that, like it has other plywood?
Oh yeah. But you know what? I mean, milk and bread and gas has gone up. So yeah, it's just all going up. But I think that's probably gone up more. I think I think we were paying like $14 a sheet, and it's around 60 now. So about four times. Yeah. So
that is crazy.
So yeah, we're doing some work to see what we can do to work with that. And, you know, we're always working on the next new product. So I will say the future of Bob CNC will be eventually an aluminum router, and then next a steel router. So we're going to try to cover them all, right? So from wooden all the way up to the steel. So it'll be a few years. Not in a hurry. Just like you were talking about before, you know, we work at our own pace. So
yeah. All right. Well, I'm anxious to see what kind of new things come out of Bob CNC back there. And I was going to ask you too, and I guess we got one other question in here. Okay, Larry Brown says, "What's the best bit for detail in acrylic?" In that good old feeds and speeds question. Who wants to take that one? I haven't cut any acrylic, and I couldn't tell you when.
Fast and up cut if you're cutting out, and a V bit. You know, when you say detail, I don't know what I mean. If you're talking like some engraving, then probably a diamond drag works pretty good, or a V bit, right?
Okay. Anybody else cut any acrylic?
It's been years for me too, but from what I remember,
Fast acrylic.
yeah, fast and thin cuts, because
Fast and furious. Yeah, you don't want it to melt, right?
It'll melt. Yeah, that's it. That's bad. I learned that the hard way.
Yeah. Yeah, and the upcut will get the chips out of the groove for you, and you don't have to worry about, you know, that top fuzz because it's not a fiber material, right? So
okay. All righty. There you go, Larry. I'll have to go with what they say because, like I said, it's been so long since I just remember gumming up the first 2 or 3 bits pretty bad before I figured out that you got to just fly through it and go, pretty light. So, all right, Mark's got a question for Bob here. He says, have you looked into Apple ply?
Yes. We've looked, you have some domestic birds, some apple ply. There's actually 5 or 6 different plywood types, but it's really hard to replace 6 millimeter thick, right? Which is the Baltic birch. The 1/2 inch or the 12 millimeter is not so hard. There's all kinds of different birch or different wood species plywood for that. So that one will be easy, but it's really, trying to find the 6 millimeter was tough. So you can find 5 millimeter, but if you do 5 millimeter, then you have to have a different design. So
yeah, that messes up everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you mentioned it's getting tough to get. Has that is that affected your lead times any, or are you able to keep enough inventory to not?
So we have a lady, her name's Ashley, that does our supply management, and she's just really good. So, she tries to see these things in the future. And then my wife does the money. So she has to go beg for money and say, we need to buy more of this. So, she stacked us up. See if I can turn this around a little bit so you can see our stack of Baltic birch here. There we go. We got some.
Okay. All right.
I mean, it depends on what's going to happen in the future. So you don't know that. So we got about 5 months worth, we think. So here, and we got another stack in the back. So we'll see.
Okay. So hopefully you can ride it out, and it'll,
that's the plan.
Yeah. And this will get over with. I wanted to ask you too, and I'm going to try to ask this question real quick here since I don't see any other questions. But I think you mentioned when I had you on the show the first time, Bob,
Mm-hmm.
that you started out going to do a 3D printer. Is that?
That was our first product, was a 3D printer. Now, back in the day, you couldn't buy a printer. They were around $800 or $900 was the cheapest one you could get, right? So you have to, when it first started. So we created one that was a Baltic birch. It was cut on my CNC. We didn't have a laser at the time. As a matter of fact, the laser made it so much nicer. But I think ours was 378. Yeah, and it was Baltic birch. What was that there that he was saying?
Mark was saying we know why we can't get Baltic birch.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, anytime there's something out there, I get it. So
yeah.
But yeah, so we started off with the 3D printer, and then we started making a CNC router, a small one, the E3. And about the time that it got popular, the Chinese came in with the 3D printers, and just, you can, what do you get, $150 for a 3D printer now? So
yeah, you probably can get
or maybe 180. Yeah,
some of them there. I just bought an Ender 3.
It's a good printer.
189, I think it was. So yeah, under $200. There's a lot of clones and stuff you can get for under $200.
And I see that happening with the CNC market too, right? But they're just I don't think they understand the American market, right? So they put a little tiny RC car motor on their inexpensive ones, but they cut, right? I mean, it's just a matter of time. You were talking about that last week, showing, or maybe it's a few weeks ago, showing some pictures from those little $200 CNCs that did pretty good.
Yeah, it surprised me because it's the ones you see on eBay and Amazon and stuff, and they're like dirt cheap, $300 or less. Yep. And I know I probably wouldn't buy one. Yeah. But apparently that's a big thing. There's a lot of Facebook groups, and I've even joined a couple of the Facebook groups, and that's where I see some of these photos of people posting the stuff they're doing, and I'm like, man, it's great looking stuff. And then of course they'll say how long it took them, and it's like, oh yeah, it's because you got that little thing that, you know, but if you know how to work it,
Yeah.
it'll do it. It's
I always tell people all the time, you know, relatively, you can just say the more expensive it is, the faster it should be able to cut your parts out. So if you have a lot of time, then you can go less expensive. But I mean, I had a guy that was wanting to start a cabinet shop, right? And he's going to build, you know, 3 sets of cabinets a week. And I'm like, well, you're going to want to spend a lot more money on the machine than you can with a Bob CNC machine. I mean, you just, for production, I mean, I would go up to the Shopsmith or something industrial, right? A Sabre or whatever. But yeah, you got to understand you can't build cabinets with one of those, but you can sure have fun and learn the hobby.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying. I've seen, you know, people, you know, really knocking them and stuff like that, you know, and my thing is, if that's all you can get to get into this hobby,
Yeah.
and that, you know, to me, it's like spending $300 for a course on CNC. You buy one of those little things, you learn what you're doing, and maybe make a few little knickknacks or something to sell, and then you can upgrade and hand that off and let somebody new learn CNC.
For sure.
I don't think they're a bad thing. Like, I just think, you know, some of the folks that badmouth them just need to shut up. Because
I think there's a thing. I mean, you know, you got to understand how they work, what needs to be tight. You know, I've seen people that have 3D printers and they don't know what the eccentric spacers do, so they're wobbly, right? There's a lot of looseness in them, so their 3D parts don't. You know, you have to understand what's going on. But if you understand a little bit of the physics of, you know, okay, I can't push this very hard because it's small, then yeah, you could. I'm sure their tolerances are fine. I mean, stepper motors are stepper motors, so.
Right. And there's another brand. I'm not going to mention their name. I'm not even going to say what they rhyme with because that would give it away. But you know the one I'm talking about. But I have seen folks that make guitar bodies and all kinds of cool stuff, no problem. And then there's other people that just fight them left and right. And I'm like, it's all, you know, a lot of it's the operator, not the machine. So anyway, all right. I see we got some more comments started over here. Thank you, Ryan, for catching up on these. Let's see. Greg wants to know if I'm bonding with my new ender. Yes, I am. I love it. Except I have noticed, and you know, I had one before. You know, a lot of folks, I posted a picture on Facebook. And people started commenting like, oh, yeah, it's about time you got one of those or something like that. And I'm like, no, wait a minute. Don't you remember I had some back in 2018? And one of them that I had was an Ender 3. But it's the exact same model, but they've changed a few things. Now, this one, the one I had 4 years ago, did not have it had the textured type surface. I don't know what you call that stuff, the black textured stuff on the bed, and it wouldn't come off. It was stuck on there. So when you got a print stuck on that thing, and that was my biggest complaint with that machine. Everything else I loved about it, but you get it to stick, you couldn't hardly get it off, and you'd break it. If it was something fragile, you'd break it getting it off. Well, the one I got now comes with this really thin black thing that you put the binder clips on to hold it, and it sticks really good, and then you can pull it off and just kind of bend it after it's cooled, and it's not that hard to get off. So I'm really liking this one. But one thing, and I don't remember because it's been 4 years, and I don't remember having this problem with the other one that I had 4 years ago, but they have the spool, the mounting thing for the spool is on top. So it comes off and it's kind of a sharp angle going into the extruder. And it just don't want to work. You know, you need something to bring it a little farther out or something. So I've looked on, you know, good old Thingiverse and got me a couple of things that I've seen. And I've already put one on the top that hangs out. It's got a loop, so you feed it through there. But then I need to put another one down right in front of the extruder, because that's the only thing I've noticed. I had one print mess up because I walked out of the room, and right after that it got hung up on the spool, and it couldn't pull it because it was, like I said, it's just too sharp of an angle. But anyway, but yeah, I am kind of bonding with it. I just finished a print probably a few minutes before 8 o'clock, and I mean it's perfect. There's nothing. I haven't even pulled it off the bed yet. It's still stuck on there. But Harry Ragland says, I have a tiny CNC I bought for the kids, but they're not interested. I think they're more interested in the Cricut in the 3D printer. Okay.
That post caught my eye too when he posted it. There's some truth in that the young people want 3D printers, and well, look at our panel. Older people like us, we like CNC and woodworking more.
Older people.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. What do we got here? It says, hi, Dave. I wish we had the opportunity as international clients to purchase your kit, but sadly, you only ship within the USA. Why do I draw the line at shipping internationally? It's really quite simple. One, it's a lot more expensive, but this kit that I ship, several of the parts are small. I can see this thing getting beat up and a hole torn in the box, maybe just a corner, and one little old part is missing when you get the kit. Then I've got to turn around and spend the money to ship to wherever the heck you're at just for that one little part. And quite frankly, I sell enough of them in the U.S. and Canada. I don't worry about selling anywhere else. So I hate to, that's probably not a good answer as far as you're concerned, but it just doesn't make good business sense for me to try to ship these things to everybody, because I'm a one-man shop. Everything that happens right here where I'm at in my garage. I don't have a big company and all that. And, if I shipped everywhere like that and parts start missing and all that, I don't need the headache. I'm just not going to do it. Simple as that.
There's another good reason for that, and that is because each country has their own tax laws, and you can't possibly know them all without doing a lot of research. But I will tell you what happens for Bob CNC, because we have the same policy for the same reasons, that and the taxes, right? And so one thing that you can do, if you live in a different country, there is companies called forwarders, and we'll send it to Florida or New Orleans or someplace, and they will take care of that. So that will, if you're really wanting the Gatton machine, don't let the fact that you live in Europe stop you. Find yourself a reputable forwarder, and you'll have to pay them, right? Because they understand the duties, the taxes, and they will put it on a boat. It'll take long, and then you can do it. But there you go. Some countries don't allow unfinished wood imports. So, but yeah, that's what you want to do, is get with a forwarder and say, hey, I want to buy something in the USA, and they will understand it.
Another thing that makes it, to me, that just doesn't make sense for me to do it is you have to understand how my business works. I sell a kit that contains most of the gantry parts, all the ones that need to be cut on a CNC. That's what I supply. The simple cuts, where you just cut in a rectangle, those are done by the end user. Not to mention everything I spec out on the plans, the lead screws, the Acme nuts, the couplers, bolts, nuts, all this other kind of stuff. You would have to get that.
You have to source that there, yeah.
Either source it where you're at or get your forwarder, and then you'd have to have them round up all this. See, mine is kind of different. It's not like you buy a kit and it ships everything. That's not the way it works. It's, probably nobody else that I know of does it like I do. But I'm a one-man shop, and I don't need the headache with dealing with all that other stuff. I can tell you right now, and apologies to my friends from Canada, because I know there's a few watching, but Canada is a big enough pain in the butt shipping to Canada. Yeah, every time I go to the UPS store and I say this is going to Canada, the girls just roll their eyes because it's like 10 minutes worth of paperwork to fill out to ship something to Canada. So sorry, Bruce, and was it Joma? But that's probably not the answer you wanted, but that's the one I got.
So do you sell just your plans over there, or?
Well, I've tried that in the past, and then the next thing you know,
Oh yeah, they're on the line somewhere. Yeah.
they start showing up somewhere. So, there's no doubt there's tons of pirated Gatton CNCs out there already too. So I tried that, and it just doesn't work. I'm just not going to do it. I don't need the money that bad. So I'm not, like I said, I'm a one-man shop. This is it. What you see is my whole thing here. Larry Brown's giving you a little love there. Bob says, love
Thank
my
you.
Bob's Evolution 3 B-carb combo. Good deal. All right. I think we've wiped out those questions. Now, you said something a minute ago that I'm glad I asked you about that 3D printer thing, because did I just hear you say you were making them out of Baltic birch?
Yeah. So we used Baltic birch, and for the bed we used the the glass, the tempered glass, if you will. And it had the big Arduino, the AT, what do they call that, with the ramp 9, We had a guy that made our custom extrusions, and then they started coming out of China where they were really inexpensive, so we went to that. And it was a pretty good printer for its time. I mean, it didn't have a heated bed. I mean, now they're just, they're so mass produced, the pieces of extruded aluminum and stuff. But yeah.
Yeah.
Go look on, if you're interested in the picture, just go look on the website under products no longer manufactured, RP9.
Okay. All right. I'll go check it
R
out.
was for Robert, my first name. P was for Pam, her first name. And the 9th was, it took me 9 revisions to get it to work. So RP9.
Just
now
9?
you know the KL7, right? Now right? So the evolution was pretty quick.
Okay. All right.
Well, was that in the same era of the cupcake?
Yeah, it was about the same era as Cupcake, yeah. And there was a guy, he was a youth leader at a church, but he did PrinterBot. Was it PrinterBot?
Okay.
Right?
MakerBot.
Yeah, he tells a story about he put batteries on it and was 3D printing on a plane. He wanted to be the first person that ever 3D printed on a plane. So his wife was like, "What are you doing?" Because it's all hot and everything. But so I guess he printed something on the plane.
I think Naomi did a backpack 3D printer.
There you go.
To walk around with it. Yeah.
I am not familiar with the ANET A8.
Isn't that the one that used to catch on fire all the time?
Well, that's, yeah, well.
I don't hear of those anymore, but I know when I first started researching 3D printers 4 years ago, because I wanted one, there was a lot of stuff about those that they didn't have the what do they call it, the runaway heat thing.
Yeah.
It not only wasn't just turned off, it was like it didn't even come with one. So because a lot of times they ship them and they have that stuff turned off, so there won't be any errors, and then you have to do something with the firmware, I think, to get it back on. But yeah, I remember hearing a thermal runway. Yeah, thank you. Somebody put that in there. George says, Dave, for this old boy, I really enjoyed the build process. It is dead simple woodworking. Thanks for putting that. You're welcome, George. Glad you like it. Let's see. We're getting about 45 minutes in here. I don't know who this is. We'll get rid of them. Troll out there, looks like. Wade says, I think I've printed 15 different dust boots. That's funny to me, and I'll show you why. Well, y'all probably can't see it. And I don't know if I can get to it being all tethered here. Let me see if I can. I'm going to move this box in here. And I'll flip on this other camera. Let's see if I can get a better view of this. I don't know. Can you see my dust shoe back there? I can't really get the camera real close. Let's see if I can do this. Oops. Well, now I just unplugged it. Anyway.
Uh-oh.
Yep, I knew I was going to do that. Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
I'm pulling it up all over the place here. Okay. I think we're good if I didn't hit the mute button. Can y'all still hear me?
Yep. We can't see you, though.
Okay. Well, let's see if I can fix that.
Looks like we're in charge now.
That's dangerous.
Yeah. Very.
There it is.
Okay.
There you go.
It's all good. Just got to push the right buttons. Yeah, I about tore everything up trying to walk over. Anyway, I was trying to show my dust shoe, and I always laugh because I see, and I shouldn't laugh at folks, I guess. But some people, I guess, are under the impression that you cannot put a dust shoe on your CNC unless it's store-bought or acrylic or 3D printed. I got a piece of plywood where I've made mine. And I even did a live stream and made that one. And it's not pretty, but it works. And that's what you want out of a dust shoe. But I just never even thought about 3D printing one because I wouldn't think, I know I'm not going to be able to print one stronger than that plywood there. But so that's why I was laughing when I saw that comment about how many dust shoes they've 3D printed.
Now, the cool thing about 3D printers that I found is being able to make tooling, just simple tooling. So I'd cut out, I'd make small arcades, and I would use this. When you put a cam lock in, you still have to come in on the side of the plywood, and this would lock in, and then I can literally just drive the drill to the point for my cam lock, and that's 3D printed. I did that a while ago.
Okay. Yeah, that's one of the things that I used to always kind of joke about before is, you know, people with 3D printers, a lot of them just make what I call crap. I'm sorry. It's, you know, little trinkets and little things and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, what do you do with all that stuff? And I always wanted to make stuff that's useful. You know, like what Sean was showing there.
Yeah.
And I ran out of things to make. I'd already made all the, you know, downloaded a bunch of stuff from Thingiverse and all that. And finally, I just said, you know what? Those things I had a Creality CR10 and an Ender 3. And I just stopped using them. I couldn't think of anything useful to make. And so I ended up selling them to a guy who has a printer for him. He wanted them. And I sold everything I had, all my spools of filament, everything. And of course, now here we are 4 years later. And I've thought of some things. I'm like, man, I wish I had kept that Ender 3 because I got some things I want to make. And not only that, but, and I'm not sure, Bob, I think I heard you talk about it. I'm not sure, but I think in one of your videos, Bob Shop Talk things. I think it was you. It may not have been, but I heard somebody mention the software, Design Spark Mechanical.
It's one of my favorite. I think it's a hidden jewel that people need to go look at.
It absolutely is. I downloaded it. Like I said, I think it was you that I heard say it, and I'd never even heard of it. I looked it up. I thought, oh, it's free. I might as well get it.
Yep.
So I got it. I've had it on my computer now for, I guess, however long it's been since I heard you first say it. But I have gotten serious about learning it. And I'm going to tell you what, I love it. Yeah. It is fantastic. And I'm actually going to start what I 3D printed tonight. I drew up in that Design Spark Mechanical. Yeah.
And so there's just a plug. So if you get that, it's actually a free version of a program called Space Claim, which is what I use to do all my design work at Bob CNC. But just type in Space Claim tutorials essentials, and it will give you a walkthrough of all of the features, and most of them you'll find in the free version, Design Spark Mechanical. And I bet you, if you're a novice CAD person, you can be up and going in a couple hours if you'll just watch those videos and then go give it a shot. I mean, Fusion 360 is fancy, but it is so hard to learn. But Design Spark Mechanical is free, always free, and easy to learn.
I think one of the biggest problems I've had trying to learn, because I tried SketchUp, I don't know how many times.
Yeah.
And that just never worked for me. But I think my biggest problem was it's not because I was new. It's because I had all that SolidWorks experience.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't like SolidWorks, I was like, nah, I don't want to mess with it. Yeah. But this stuff, I am really, I love it. It's fantastic. And I've been following. I found this little guy. Let's see, what's his channel? It's W3DE Studio. Okay, some little guy that he goes by the name of Sam, and he's in Jakarta, Indonesia.
Okay.
And he's done about 30 tutorials so far. And I started watching him, and I would just go along with it. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's all clicking now. So I'm loving that stuff. And and it would be good for anything, not just 3D printing. If you were going to do something, you were going to,
you can export DXF, and you can export STL. So that means with another program, like my other favorite program, STLCam, you can do 2.5D and 3D. $59 is all the software you need to do 3D stuff. But
what's the name of that one?
So the CAD, 3D CAD is called Design Spark Mechanical. Mm-hmm. And what I use to do all of our work here at Bob CNC, pretty much, not our artistic work. Keith loves the V-carve. It's called STLCam. It's ESTLCAM. It's $59. Christian, a German fella, is the one that wrote it, and we sell it on our website. But I just fell in love with it because I'm cheap, $60 and a free software package, and that means you can get into 3D CNC. It's not going to have all the features that V-carve has, but it has a few.
That's why I use Tinkercad, because it's free and it doesn't take a mental giant to try and figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Well, definitely, everybody out there, take a look. I mean, I don't own anything or get anything out of it. I just love it. Just go ahead and try that Design Spark Mechanical. It's a good 3D package that you can do assemblies or just parts. So.
Now, I'll admit, I use Fusion 360, but I just recently downed the Spark after listening to Dave's Morning Coffee. So I'll give it a shot.
That's cool.
Yeah, and the thing about it, not only is it free, but it's like Fusion 360 and some others, they'll say, well, it's free for hobbyists. Well, this is free, period. Now, if you want to do drawings, then you have to buy an add-on. And that add-on is like $567, I think. I looked just today just to see. But I'm like, well, for what I'm using it for, I can get by without the drawings, especially if I'm just because you don't need a drawing to 3D print something. You just save it out as the STL and throw it in your slicer and you're done. But for other stuff, like if you were going to do like my GAT and CNC kit assemblies and stuff like that, it's nice to be able to do drawings, but I don't need that right now. So it's totally free.
So Dave, we go straight for, now I use Space Claim, but you can do it in Design Spark. We build a complete 3D assembly, and then we'll make a layout where we lay everything flat, right? And then we'll save a DXF, which you can use as a CNC file, or most lasers. I see Sean's got a laser. He could just cut it out from there. You don't even need a CNC file. So,
Yep.
And that would work on this machine.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, that's what we do all the time. I never ever make drawings for our laser files. It goes straight from a DXF into the laser.
Here he says,
I have
75 designs on Thingiverse, and they have been downloaded tens of thousands of times. I'll have to check out what you got, Harry.
Yeah.
I tell you what, there's anything you can think of on Thingiverse.
Yeah.
If you think it's not, all you got to do is go search it the right way, and you'll find it on Thingiverse. All right, we're getting close to the top of the hour, and we got a drawing to do. But before we do the drawing, I want to real quick here tell you about what's in that box. And I can pull it out and show you too, but I thought I would, let's see if I'm doing this right. I haven't done much else right tonight. Knocked the mic over. Okay. I had a company, and you remember I was asking y'all last week, how many of y'all have 3D printers or are into that? And I think it was a good many folks have 3D printers as well as CNC routers. So I had a company that has sent me some stuff, and I'm going to give it away next week. So this is one of the things here. It's the name of the company is HICTOP, and it's this flexible steel. Well, it says flexible steel. I don't know if it's steel or not. It might be. PEI surface with the magnetic bottom sheet. It's the one they send is 235 by 235 for an Ender 3 Pro or an Ender 3 V2 or an Ender 3. And I pulled it out. Let me see if I can pull it out without snatching everything loose again.
Second shot at it.
I'll move the box a little closer here to me. Let's see if I can set it right here. All right, let's set this here. Okay. I think I made it without. But this is, and I just opened this for the first, now I'm on my cord. But I just opened this for the first time a little while ago and looked at it, and it looks just like that picture. But it's got the really nice surface, and it's kind of heavy. I guess that's because of that magnet. Now it still has the stuff you got to peel off on the back, but it's pretty nice. So that will be given away next week. And like I said, I think I mentioned it, we'll still do the Jenny bit, whichever one Cody wants to give away next week. But we'll be doing that as well. This will just be a separate random drawing. So I've got that. And then the other thing is, if you have, let me get it open here. There we go. Is in this box, and I haven't opened it at all, but it is from that same company. It is a dual Z-axis upgrade kit. So the Ender 3 just has the one lead screw on the Z-axis, and that is an upgrade kit which contains those parts right there. Now, the reason I'm telling you all this tonight is, like I said, we're going to give this away next week. But if you look in the show description, I have the links that they sent me to those, and there's also a 25% off code if you can't wait or don't want to take a chance and see if you win one next week. Because this is all I have is just this one of each. So, but I'm not going to use them, so I'm going to give them away. That's why I didn't want to try to take them out of the box and lose parts or anything. I'll just leave them like they are, pile them right back in that box. And again, they will be, in order to be eligible for that drawing, you will need to be in the U.S. or Canada, because I'm not going to ship them everywhere. But that'll be part of the giveaway next week. Now, let's get back to the giveaway this week. Let me do this one more time. This week's drawing is sponsored by Cadence Manufacturing and Design. My good buddy Cody, which I don't know if he's out in the chat or not. He might be. I hadn't seen. But we will be giving away this one right here, the Genie Bit. And in order to do that, you need to put in, I've already mentioned it earlier, but if you're just joining late, you need to put in the live chat hashtag Genie. And I will leave that up there for a second.
Is that case sensitive?
I don't think it makes any difference. But if it was me, I would put it exactly like I have it, just to be sure. I don't think it makes any difference. I think as long as it's in there, it'll work. All right, let me put my glasses on so I can get this thing's giveaway set up here correctly.
That's awesome that Cody's doing that every week.
Yeah, it is. And it's an awesome bit, too, I'm telling you. Okay, so we're going to start collecting the comments here. Put this on. Let's see if we've got any other questions while we're waiting for the entries to come in. Just collecting them all. I don't see any other questions. Okay, everybody's putting in the hashtag Jenny, looks like. Oh, there he is. There he is. Cody's in the house here. Alan says, thank you, Cody, for sponsoring the giveaway. Cody's a good dude and makes some awesome bits, I can tell you that. All righty. Give it just another minute or two. Rob, have you got anything new and exciting going on while we're waiting? I saw you had a new video out, came out today, didn't it?
Yep. It's a pretty basic video. Just, you never see people talk about tooling marks, how to get rid of them. And we're talking dust shoes. I purposely put the dust shoe on wrong, or a big dust shoe, big heavy duty one for a tiny bit, and showed how you can get tooling marks from that. But also talked about other ways you can get tooling marks. You always see the posts on YouTube or on Facebook, people asking why I have tooling marks. And I don't know, sometimes you see that people's answers to that question are kind of totally off base. They don't, it always bothers me. I see bad answers, but I don't want to get involved. But
Yeah.
So I made a video.
I know the feeling. Sometimes it's better to scroll on.
Yep.
All righty. Okay, it looks like we're stuck at 18 entries here. I can't believe that's all we got because we got
There's got to be more than that.
a lot more folks watching. Hashtag Jenny if you want to get in on this, folks. Yeah, we got 62 folks watching. I can't believe there's only 18 that want a router bit.
Yeah, there's got to be more than 18.
Well, I don't know. Don't see.
There's 20.
Okay, there now it's going. Let's see if I can go back. Yeah, there it is. Good. Yeah, got that. Start collecting them. All right, we're up to 24. That's still not very many. I guess people don't want a free bit. $25. Do I hear 26?
Nope, went straight to 27.
Maybe I better wait a minute. I don't know. Maybe it's because this thing is slow or something, but it's slowly creeping up there. I'll wait a minute. We'll figure out something else to talk about while we're going here. Look through the comments. I thought a lot of people hit it up right off. I thought.
Yeah, that's why I was asking if it was case sensitive, but I was kind of trying to watch them as they were going, and it seemed like everybody was using caps.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's putting it in just like I put it.
Yeah, so
I don't think it is case sensitive though. I don't. In fact, I'll tell you funny stories while we're waiting on a few more to come in here. Is we've done this is like our third or fourth giveaway, and I noticed because what I'll do is I'll go download the broadcast and then I clip out the little section where the drawing is and I'll post it on social media and say, hey, congrats to so and so for winning blah blah blah. And I noticed when I was doing that little clip, as the name scrolled by, I saw my name pop up and I'm like, what the heck? I didn't enter this thing. I'm not going to enter my own thing. And so I messaged Ryan and I said, hey, Ryan, if you're going to enter the thing, make sure you do it through YouTube and not through StreamYard, because when you do it through StreamYard, it shows up as me. And then I found out that he wasn't doing it either. But what he was doing is he was putting a comment saying, hey, folks, make sure you put hashtag such and such. So it was picking up
okay,
that hashtag. So that's why I'm thinking that it's not case sensitive, and that as long as you've got it in there, even if you've got another comment in there too, it'll pick it out. So, well, now we're up to 34. I guess I better wait a minute. Maybe it's just because this, I don't know why it's so slow. Maybe I should have set it up after I first mentioned it at the beginning of the show, so it will take longer. All right, I see looks like I'm seeing some comments about when I crashed the set here a while ago.
well, it looks like they've scrolled through and somebody's got 66 and somebody says 62, so that they saw in the feed. So
Okay, so that's how many. Are y'all counting them, and that's how many there are?
that's what it looks like.
Well, we're at 34, and what were we at 18 or something a while ago? So we've just about doubled. John says I could print and sell the stepper motor spacers. I'm not looking to sell anything. I'm just looking to make the stuff that I make. I want it to be something useful. And I think I can't remember who it was. Was it Andrew Haig? I think he's got those spacers up on Thingiverse anyway, so as a free download. So I'm not looking to make any money. I told people the other day when they, some of them started going crazy when they saw that I bought that Ender 3, and I'm like, this isn't the start of Gatton Printer Farm. I just want one to play around with, and but I'll have to show you. I'm not going to mention what I made today because I'm probably going to do a video, not a 3D printer, because that's about as boring as watching CNCs run. But I thought I would do a video showing how I drew it in Design Spark Mechanical. Because I have had some folks during my morning coffee sessions show some interest in that and ask me questions about it. And I'm like, well, I wouldn't call it a tutorial because I just have learned it myself, but I can show you how I draw stuff. Okay, let's see. All right, looks like we're stuck at 34 now, so we're going to go ahead and get ready to hit it. I hope that everybody Clyde says it costs too much for Canada. Can my U.S. friend get it if I win? I don't know. You'd have to ask Cody that because he's the one sponsoring it. Like I said, I don't even have the bits and send them. He does everything. He just watches the show and sees who wins and sends it off that way. All right. I guess we're going to go ahead and hit it. I don't know if there's any more. It looks like we're stuck at 34, which that's about half or so, however many people we got here. So anyway, let's hit this and see who wins this week. Good luck, everybody. Charlie Piper. Congratulations, Charlie Piper. You are the lucky winner of this week's giveaway, which is as I mentioned, one of these beautiful things. So congratulations, Charlie. Make sure you contact Cody. Let me pull that up again so you know where to find him. Cadence Manufacturing Design. There's the web address. It's www.cadencemfgdesign.com. So make sure you get in touch with Cody and he will get your bit to you. All right. Any other questions, comments, anything? We've talked about all kinds of stuff tonight. Oh, there he is. Charlie's in the house. It's not necessarily a you got to be here to win it thing, but it's always nice when people stick around to see if they won. Cody says, don't worry about shipping. I want it to be a blessing, not a cursing. So, all righty. Well, I guess we're going to wrap up tonight. We really got off easy, guys, because I'm going to just do kind of an open Q&A thing. We really didn't get that many questions, so it was an easy, slow night, I guess. So, anybody got anything they want to plug or anything before we get out of here? Bob, you got anything going on?
Nope. I'm good.
All right. How about you, Rob? I know you just had a video come out.
I've done 2 videos in 2 weeks now, which is a record for me. I do one every 6 months usually. So,
wow, you better watch it. They're going to call you a YouTuber.
Yeah,
keep that stuff up.
And I'm thinking about another one. So usually it takes a while to even think about another one to do. So we'll see.
Okay. All right. Well, keep them coming. Sean, what you got going on? Got anything you want to plug or talk about?
I give Yegi a try. YEGGI. It's a good search engine for STL files, 3D models. I
Okay.
use it a lot.
All righty.
And a lot of stuff like clamps. Those were good. When your bit hits these, you don't destroy your bit.
Yeah. Yeah. That's always a good thing.
Yes.
Paul, how about you? You got anything, any videos or anything coming out? You want to plug something?
No. No, I'm good.
Okay. All righty. Well, I appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. Like I said, it's been fun other than my crash that I did earlier.
Oh, that was fun.
But it's still less exciting than it was this time last year for me. So I'm all happy about that. So anyway, I guess we're going to get out of here, guys. Thank y'all for joining me tonight, Bob, Rob, Paul, and Sean. Thank y'all. And Ryan, I know I can't see you, but I know you're there, buddy. So thank you for hanging out in the back, wherever you're at, and helping me keep up with the comments. So we will get out of here, and everybody have a happy Easter. Tomorrow's Easter Sunday. So have a very happy Easter, and we will see you all next week. And don't forget, we're going to do the giveaway on the bit as well as this 3D stuff if anybody's interested in that. So be sure and come back for that. All right, we're out of here. Everybody have a good one. See you.